Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Welcome to my video for Friday, March the 17th, 2017. Today we're going to discuss some more eBay topics, including a long recap of what you guys had to say in last week's video. You guys had a lot of really interesting comments that I want to explore and discuss. We're also going to talk about another glitch that I've stumbled upon, as well as some other things, not just updates for promoted listings and things you see here on the whiteboard, but quite a few other things that I have written down that I would like to address. So we shall now get started. Last week I made a video called "A Buyer Wants to Cancel an Order," and that video was quite popular, I must say. It received over 1,150 views in 1 week, which means it's something you guys are concerned about, and I'm glad that I'm hitting raw nerves and topics that you guys find interesting. I would like to discuss some of the comments that you made, and we'll elaborate on them now. Abandoned Exploration Adventure made a comment about best offer, how he's been having quite a few problems with the best offer feature, meaning that he would put a best offer on his item, a person would make him an offer, he would accept it, and they would not pay. He would then relist the offer, and a person came along and bid the full offer price. I believe they had zero feedback, but don't quote me. And after that, he contacted the winning bidder and said, you know, you won the item, congratulations and all that. Are you going to pay for the item? And the person wrote back to him and said, I'll pay, but I want to make you a best offer. I don't want to pay full price. This is after they already committed to it. Let me tell you my experiences. Those of you who've been watching my videos for a long time know what I think about best offer. In theory, it sounds great, but to my knowledge, there is no way to require immediate payment with best offer. So that's why I do not offer it. Years ago, I tried it, maybe around 5 years ago, and I would get people, let's say the item was $100 with best offer. People would offer me a reasonable price, like let's say $80. I would accept the offer, and they would write back to me and say, listen, I'm not paying you. I don't even want the item. I was just curious to see how low you would go. Besides, best offers aren't binding anyway. Guys, I can't tell you how many of those situations I ran into. It was so discouraging and disheartening, I totally did away with best offer. Yet, there are friends of mine who sell in other departments on eBay, let's just say fashion for instance, who use best offer and say they never have any problems. They never have any people not paying or questioning the validity of a best offer. Well guys, you do what works for you. If eBay ever can come up with a way to require immediate payment on best offers, I will gladly use that feature. Until then, I'm staying away. Gene O came up with two interesting comments. The first, he complained about buyers not leaving feedback. That has been a long-standing problem. I would say if I sell 10 items, I am lucky if I get 3 feedbacks. That's 30%. Now, that's a very low percentage, of course, but actually, I'm in this to make money on eBay. That's my main criteria. The feedback is good. If I get it, I'm happy. If I don't get it, you know, I just don't really care about it. It doesn't bother me. However, I want to be fair here. I realize some of you newer sellers really do need your feedback. So if you're selling only a few items a week and you have a feedback now of maybe 15, you need all those positive feedbacks, and I really wish you guys would get them. But, you know, the way the system is constructed, it's the buyer's prerogative whether they want to leave feedback. I know a lot of you guys write to your buyers several weeks afterwards and say, would you please leave me feedback? I did that myself in the old days, back when I was a newer seller. I don't do it anymore because I don't really need it. You know, there is two schools of thought on this. Some people feel it helps you get extra feedback. Some people feel that you're nagging the buyer, and that's not right. So guys, I'm not telling you which way to go on this. I'm just telling you that I myself am happy just to make the sales. The feedback is the icing on the cake. Okay? Gino also told me an interesting story about a seller who was selling knives. He was selling these sets of knives for $9.95 on eBay and had sold like 400 of them. And he was doing great in search. He was right on top. However, he ran to his last set of knives and he had to replenish. So what he did was he changed the price for the last set of knives. He upped it from $9.95 up to an unrealistic $400, only to retain his high place in search. Okay? Once he got his shipment of knives back in, bang, he knocked it right down to $9.95, and he kept his high placement in search. I'm glad Gene wrote that, because I never thought about doing that before. That's a very interesting idea. I don't think it violates any policies. And that actually touches on a story I told you guys last week about how I got royally stung with a cancellation. I want to tell you because there's an update to the story. Very quickly, for those of you guys who don't remember this or didn't see my video, I had an item, just like the one I described now with the knives. I had an item that was very high in search. I had sold 27 of them. And periodically, I would replenish the item. Last week, I only had 4 left. And a person with 0 feedback started a brand new account specifically to buy those 4 items. They bought them, paid right away with PayPal. It was a $234 sale. Immediately contacts me and says, I don't want these items. I didn't even want to bid on them or buy them. I was trying to set up a brand new eBay account and eBay made me buy them, which is a total crock, okay? They had to go through several steps to buy my item. Once they set up their eBay account, they had to go to my item, physically change the quantity from 1 to 4, then click buy it now, then click the payment button. So something doesn't smell right about that whole deal. But anyway, my main complaint was not the cancellation, but this person wiped out my long-standing item that had garnered such a high position in search. Now I'm screwed, okay? I got to start from scratch. So, obviously I had to cancel the deal, and I relisted the item. And I told you guys about this Friday last week. I filmed my video Friday during the day, but later Friday evening, right about the time I was putting out the video, I was so appalled at this whole thing and so bummed out that I called eBay, okay? I spoke to a representative, somebody, you know, a base representative, for lack of a better term, and I told them I wanted to speak to somebody in the fraud department. And I explained exactly what happened, and I said to the person, there's only 2 possibilities here. Either this person is my competition, trying to get my item out of search, and did this maliciously, or perhaps a new person really did start this account, and somehow, some way, somebody took control of the account without their knowledge, like they're trying to say they didn't buy it, and bought my item. So the guy understood exactly what I was talking about. He connected me with a fraud specialist, and I stated my case. The guy looked at the correspondence, what the person wrote, and said, Joe, I am very, very thankful that you called me. This is something we are going to act on. I can't tell you what we're going to do, but we're going to act on this. This is what they said. In my opinion, for what it's worth, they're going to lock up that account and make that person contact them directly and see exactly what's going on. That's just the way I see it, okay? In all my years on eBay, I have never had anything like that happen before, okay? Somebody suggested the out-of-stock option. I tried the out-of-stock option many months ago, maybe even over a year ago, and it didn't work correctly for me. For instance, I would run out of an item, it would remain in search per se, but not visible to the consumers. But if I didn't restock that item in a timely manner, I was getting charged. So I said, forget it, I'll do everything manually. And for the most part, it works. I very rarely have a problem, but in this case I did, because somebody swooped in and bought 4 of those items, which really bummed me out. I haven't been bummed out like that in a long time. Let's move on. Upgrade Ed commented in last week's video that he had 3 returns in 1 week. Well, sir, welcome to the club. This week I've had my normal 3 returns, and I've had 4 cancellations. The cancellations never used to be a problem for me, but lately they're banging off the board. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what's going on. On Wednesday night, a person made a purchase from me at approximately, I don't remember what time it was, let's say 11 o'clock at night. Cha-ching! By the time it took me just to turn around and see what sold, I already had a cancellation request from that buyer. How could they do it so quick? How is it physically possible to find my item, click buy it now, bang, pay, then immediately navigate to cancel? It's mind-boggling. Cancellations are way up. And as for returns, as I said, I got my normal 3 returns for the week. The returns don't bother me per se, as long as they're done through eBay's streamlined return system. All right, it makes it easy for the buyer and the seller, and it protects us sellers. But I absolutely despise, and I use that word carefully, I despise when somebody tries to contact me off eBay after they make a purchase from me on eBay. That leads me to a question for you guys. When you ship somebody something, do you include a receipt? I have always included a receipt. And I've been on eBay for 18 years. And I know that they're looking at the receipt and they see, oh, Hubcap Joe, here's the phone number. Let me give him a call. But I don't think buyers all realize that for safety and security, all eBay returns must stay in the eBay contact system. I honestly don't think they all know it. So when they contact me, I say, hey guy, stop. You bought this from me on eBay. If you want to return it, no problem. I offer 30-day returns. But you cannot call me directly. You must keep it through the eBay contact system. And occasionally I'll get someone that is utterly clueless, doesn't know how to do it, and I will stop and I will walk them through it. That's how determined I am. It has to stay through the eBay contact system. Gulf Wins commented he gets 1 cancellation per week. Sir or ma'am, contact me when you hit 4 per week like I am. Another huge problem I'm having, and this is something I've talked about in the last few videos, but this week had just gone off the charts, guys. I'm selling an item on eBay. Let's say I'm selling the item for $100. A person will contact me and say, I have the same item as you. I will give it to you for $75 plus shipping. Those people are the laziest of the lazy, okay? They want to get paid and do no work. Plus they're violating eBay policies because they're circumventing eBay. They're actually giving me their phone numbers and they're saying, call me directly and I'll sell to you these items $75 plus shipping. It happened twice this week. The first guy, I said, stop being so lazy and list them yourself. He wrote back, I don't know how. The second guy, the one that really boggled my mind, told me he wants to sell me items for $50,000 off eBay. I'm going to repeat that because you guys probably think you're hearing things. $50,000. He gave me his phone number and said he wants to do the deal off eBay. Now, heretofore, there used to be on the very bottom of the eBay contact forms would be a report this contact feature. It was a link. That has disappeared. I've noticed it gone for at least a month or two. But this particular incident was so egregious, I have contacted eBay directly and I have not received a definitive answer yet. They're working on it. I should have it in a day or two. I am going to pursue this to the ends of the earth because I'm done. I am absolutely done with people contacting me trying to sell me their stuff off eBay for these top dollar prices and circumventing eBay. I know it's wrong, I know it's against eBay rules, and it's time to pay the piper. I've overlooked it too long. But again, it's partially eBay's fault for removing that link. Once I get a direct contact how to report these, I will report it back to you, hopefully in next week's video. As far as customers opening boxes upside down, you guys were basically divided 60-40. 60% of you guys agreed with me and said that it seemed like the buyer was trying to pull a fast one and had no intention of paying return shipping. But there were those of you that said you routinely, I'm not going to get this right. It's time for a drink. Yeah. There were those of you that said you routinely open your boxes upside down so as not to damage the item or whatever. Well, do what you gotta do, guys. I've never opened mine upside down. Never. And one more thing. There's a glitch on eBay right now involving the eBay mobile friendly checker. I'm sure most of you guys have used it. I posted a picture to Facebook. I did this a day or two ago, and a lot of you guys have contacted me and said you're experiencing the same glitch. When you click on mobile friendly checker to make sure that your item is in fact friendly for a mobile phone user, the wheel keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and nothing happens. This is an ongoing glitch. I have reported it and we'll see what happens. And oh yeah, almost forgot. Why am I inside? Because we have a foot of snow outside. We had a blizzard on Tuesday. They were forecasting it as the storm of the century. They said we were supposed to have 22 to 24 inches of snow. People were going crazy, flocking to the supermarkets, gas stations with lines into the street. It was insane. How many inches did we get? About 12. Now 12 inches is a lot of snow, but still less than half of what they predicted. Go figure, man. Anyway, that about wraps it up. Let's do a quick rehash. Most important factor. I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thanks for watching. Always tune in every Friday night at 7 o'clock p.m. for a new eBay video with yours truly. If you have any comments or concerns about any of the topics I talked about, please comment them, and who knows, I might mention you in next week's eBay video. Thanks for watching. Remember, I come out here every week to make these videos and try and be helpful and help you guys make money on eBay. I am a seller friend, not a seller critic, and certainly not a skeptic.